Hey gamers, this is Rob from Howcast Gaming, bringing you all our very first video review with Insomniac's Resistance 3. Now just to preface this review, I'll mostly be covering the single player campaign. I haven't gotten a chance to really dig into multiplayer, and I don't think it'd be fair to put it under the microscope until I do. That said, let's jump in. While the picture Insomniac is drawing with Resistance 3 is grand and complex, they manage to color safely within the lines the whole time, and unfortunately the only two colors they use are gray and brown. You play the role of Joe Capelli, one of the many humans fighting against an army of alien invaders called the Chimera as he races to New York to ultimately try and keep his wife and son safe. What gives the textbook human versus alien cliché a nice spin is its alternate history setting, which puts you in the US during the early 1950s. While gamers are plenty familiar with the World War II era, it still proves to be a nice escape from the slew of modern military and futuristic shooters we have today. As far as shooters go, Resistance 3 is unsurprisingly by the books. Though to its credit, Insomniac really polished the well-worn scenarios we're all used to. Seasoned gamers will definitely recognize the train level, the escort mission, or the defending a fixed position until backup arrives level. Still, I wasn't complaining, and that was mostly due to the combat. One of the easy traps Insomniac could have fallen into was throwing in that standard cache of FPS weapons and not giving it a second thought. Instead, they've taken the basic loadout and given each weapon a fresh spin. Every gun comes equipped with a secondary fire mode that offers up a novel and often gruesome way of disposing of your enemies. For instance, what would have otherwise been a run-of-the-mill revolver in other games now comes with the ability to remotely detonate the explosive rounds you just fired. The wide variety of weapons in their secondary mode, which are presented to you pretty evenly throughout the game, gives you an incentive to really switch up the weapons depending on the scenario you're in. The result is really satisfying shooter combat that never manages to get old over the campaign's 5-hour lifespan. Unfortunately, while Insomniac excels in combat, they were unable to match that quality when it came to level and art design. It's true that there are some massively scaled set pieces throughout the game that I won't spoil, and they are awesome. However, they don't fully make up for the shortcomings throughout the rest of the game. Oftentimes when you finish in one area of a level, there isn't any clear indication of where to go next or what to do. The door you're supposed to open or the window you're supposed to use as an exit is often blended into the scenery too much, and the flow of progression ends up broken when you're forced to look for a way out. Only after a minute of searching will the game actually throw up a waypoint on the HUD to give you some guidance. On top of that, the art design in general feels very drab and uninspired. The story of the game has you traversing the US to get from Oklahoma to New York City, and you'd think that that much traveling would result in a wide variety of visuals. Instead, you're ferried from destroyed town A to destroyed town B. Without the on-screen text telling me where I was at the start of most chapters, I wouldn't have been able to guess. It all looked the same. Its few flaws aside, Resistance 3 has a pretty decent story with some really solid voice acting. It's nothing deep that you'll analyze on multiple levels, but Joe's devotion to his wife and son is enough to really get you rooting for him in the end. And whether it's the story motivating you to see it out until the end, or the combat system that keeps you using these fun weapons until it's over, Resistance 3's single-player campaign is definitely worth playing. This has been Rob from Howcast Gaming, signing off.